And we are live. We are here at Taggart VanEtten's the pre-show for Taggart VanEtten's 100-mile world record attempt, presented by SaltStick. I'm your host, Rob Ricardo.
And I'm your co-host, Matt Feldick. So excited to be here, Rob. I'm glad that this day has finally come where we can begin the process of sharing one of Illinois' finest story. I'm super stoked to be part of this broadcast and to help share Taggart's story with everyone.
Yeah, Taggart is tomorrow at 6 days in the Dome. He's going to be running the 24-hour race, so we wanted to kick things off with the pre-show. We'll be checking in and taking you down to the Dome itself in Milwaukee, where Jamil Curry will be out there. And but for right now, Matt, why don't you give us a little background on Taggart? You already mentioned Illinois. I want you to kind of just go off. There's a lot of overlap between your background and his background.
Yeah. So, like I said, Taggart being from Illinois, you know that I'm going to be pulling super hard for Taggart just in general. But one of the interesting things that I didn't learn until recently is that Taggart actually went to Eastern Illinois University, the greatest educational institution in the country.
Yeah.
So he is an EIU alum. He was a part of the triathlon club there, and that's kind of where he got to start. He's only 25 years old, so he's not that far removed. But as many of those who know me know, there are very few things I'm more proud of than being an EIU alumni. You can see the coffee mug here and everything. And so my time in Charleston, Illinois didn't quite overlap with Taggart's when he was there. So I moved out of Illinois, just I think less than a year before he moved in there, so we didn't get to overlap. But it's amazing to see people who come from, like, that area and, like, the middle of nowhere in Illinois. Like, he's not from where I'm from, but he's from Morton, Illinois, which is – it's all kind of the same, where you're in the middle of cornfields and stuff like that. And to see him doing and trying to do amazing stuff is, like, super exciting to me. And it just showcases that, people from the Midwest can do really hard stuff too. You don't have to live in mountain towns necessarily to do really epic stuff. So I'm super excited to share Taggart's story and to follow along as he attempts to set a new world record at 100 miles.
Yeah, and he's no stranger to world records, of course. We're actually going to take you over to the Dome right now. And so this actually is this is the track Taggart will be running on starting at 9 a.m. Central tomorrow. That's Saturday. Right now we are looking at the 48-hour race and the Friday 24-hour race. Is that correct, Matt?
Yeah, that is correct. And the Friday 24-hour race will finish right when the Saturday 24-hour race starts. So we won't have an extra set of people joining the track. You'll be losing some people and gaining others. But not only are you getting track coverage right now, you're also getting a little bit of ice hockey here at the Pettit Center, which, fun fact, the Pettit Center, I believe, is an Olympic training center for speed skating.
That is correct. That's that lane. There's no ice on it right now, but that's that lane you see between the 3 track lanes and the ice hockey rink. That's what that's usually used for. And we talked to Jamil I saw this on Taggart's Instagram. He said it's cold in there, and I believe Jamil said it was 50 degrees.
Yeah, I believe Taggart on his Instagram Live not that long ago said that 50 and 55 degrees. And a lot of that is because it is a skating facility, so have to keep it cool.
We're going to see if we can check in with Jamil Curry in a bit.
Yeah, so again, one of the interesting things about this race is that you are going to have like a lot of different storylines. Obviously, our coverage will be very heavily focused on Taggart's 100-mile world record attempt, but you are going to have a lot of really incredible runners in some of the other races as well, and particularly in this 48-hour race. You have a number of athletes in this race who have already qualified for the U.S. 24-hour team. So, there's going to be a lot of really cool stories that we are going to try and share and showcase to you throughout the course of our coverage. But we're just here kind of getting things kicked off.
That's absolutely right. We're going to see you check in now. I believe this is Jamil's camera.
Yeah, and here is more of a trackside view here as runners pass by. And again, this is not a track-specific facility. This is a ice skating facility that also has a track, so that's why there's only
I
3
believe that
lanes
is
there.
Jake Jackson right there in the blue kit.
I believe that is correct. Jake Jackson, member of the U.S. 24-hour world team.
There he is.
I believe he's been super excited to get here, just following along on his Instagram. And his only worry was how many times Taggart would lap him during his 24-hour or his 100-mile attempt tomorrow. So, but Jake Jackson, as you see there in the blue kit, is looking quite strong. Again, these 48-hour folks would have just been getting their journey started today. So everything is still fresh and feeling good for them.
That is right. Yeah, and so yes, confirmed that this is Jamil's cam. So Jamil Curry is out there. There is, we did hear that there was a lot, as you can imagine, there's blaring music out there, so we can't play it. But maybe if the music is not on or if it's not quiet, he'll unmute himself from time to time, and we could check in. But right now, we're getting some on-the-track views. It looks like Jamil's getting some laps in himself. Maybe a little bit of hard rock training there.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that Jamil is getting his hard rock training started. It's better late than never, as you might say, but he's just working on building aerobic fitness right now by getting some flat running in.
Yeah, and it's cold in there, and that's solid. There he is. Jamil,
hey guys,
can
you hear me?
Unmute yourself if you are.
Can you guys hear me?
We'll check. We'll see if we can get Jamil's audio up. This is why we checking in. Can you hear him? You have sound on, Jamil?
Can you guys hear me now?
Jamil.
I can hear you, all right. Hello.
Bear with us, folks. We'll get some sound up on Jamil in a sec.
Test.
You can hear him in there. We can't hear him in our headsets, but we'll fix that. Just give us 1 second.
Yeah.
So Jamil, just walk us through what's going on out there so our audience can hear.
Yeah. Well, as you can kind of hear with the whistles in the background, there's a couple ice hockey games going. Some people are doing some practicing for their speed skating drills. But yeah, we're 11 hours, 24 minutes into the 48-hour and the first day of 24 here. And you got a ton of runners on the track, but it is they're definitely going around out here. So you could see on either end as we went by, there are tables set up for the crews, and there's also an aid station here in the middle. And they've got some nice screens with the results on it as well. I don't know if you caught that all.
No, we did. We've got everything set up in here. We caught you now. So is it? Would you say this is world record conditions in there? Is it cold enough to stay
Oh yeah.
at a good?
I mean, as you can see, I'm wearing my hoodie in here, so it's definitely. Well, it sounds like the music is coming back on, but yeah, I think it's good conditions overall. Nice and chilly in here for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks, Jamil. We'll check in with you again later. We will stay on his cameras, and we'll get back to his cameras rather in a bit. But again, if you are just joining us, we are broadcasting. We are actually in Phoenix, but we are taking a look now at the Pettit Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central, we will see Taggart VanEtten attempt to break the 100-mile world record. But not just break it. So currently it's 11:14:56, set by Asanya Sorkin. So 11:14:56. That is a stout time. But here's the thing. He doesn't want to just go 11:14:56.
Of course not.
What does he want to do? Tell us,
Of course
Matt.
not. Well, obviously, as everyone can read on Rob's shirt, it's 10:59 or bust. But it's
10:59
not
or bust.
just that. The other day, he said he wants to run 6:30 pace, which that would put him at 10 hours and 50 minutes for 100 miles.
10:50. That's ridiculous. I mean, 11:14 is ridiculous, but
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody can do it, it's Taggart. You know, I spoke with him a few days ago, which we released a podcast on the Steep Life Media Network for that, and I've never talked to anybody or just even heard from anybody, even by like third person, other than Steve Prefontaine, that has that kind of that level of unwavering determination. He is just the most determined, most confident person I've ever heard in the sport of running.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably be that confident too if I ran 8,000 miles in the last 12 months without getting injured.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's like really where he draws his confidence from, is from his training and from his ability to train at like such a high volume without getting injured. And to me, that's incredible, you know?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, to run 6:36 pace, he basically has to run a step faster than 6:36 pace at the end of the day to go 10:59 to 59. I got to ask, as an EIU alum, maybe this will be an unbiased, what does he break the world record, and does he go sub 11? And if so, what is his time?
Yeah, neither of those things are in question.
Neither. I would have to
Would
agree.
I bet my house on it? Of course not, because I'm not a gambling person, but this is about as close to that as I could get.
Yeah.
And am I giving an unbiased opinion? I'm trying to do my best, but I will never not have faith in an EIU alum. You know, Eastern Illinois, for the viewers out there who don't know, has produced some incredible alumni. Tony Romo, one of the best sports commentators in the sport right now, EIU alum.
Yep.
Jimmy Garoppolo, the quarterback currently for Skizzlefresh, Skylar Hall's San Francisco 49ers, EIU alumni. I mean, we've produced some really great athletes, and I think Taggart is on the road to accomplishing something great tomorrow. I'll never bet against someone who has come from the same place as me, who has also put in the work and has put in the crazy volume, who has set the treadmill world best for 100 miles. I think he breaks the world record. I think he breaks 11 hours rather, and I think he runs 10:58 and change.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, I don't want to say it's like, oh, super comfortable, but I mean, going sub 11 by over a minute he's not going to have to be sprinting
in the track world. I mean, but that's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
When you're moving that fast. So, you know, it's
Yeah.
not,
I mean,
250 miler.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that obviously it's not a done deal. Obviously saying it's a done deal is very biased of me, but I am so excited for Taggart and for what he's about to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
That there is no doubt in my mind that he has what it takes, and he's done the training and the preparation, and has the mental strength and the mental toughness to put it all together tomorrow and to have himself a day. And I'm excited, and I hope that, you know, everyone else out there is excited to follow along. And, I mean, once he runs under 11 hours, you know that I'm going to be here celebrating. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Either way, I mean, it's just been super inspiring, you know, chatting with him. And, you know, you should definitely go check out that podcast, because if you need to get inspired, just listen to Taggart VanEtten talk, you know. 10:59 or bust. And I do want to point out these shirts, Run TV 10:59 or bust, that we made. They are for sale right now, and 50% of the proceeds go to Taggart VanEtten. And a big reason behind that is because Taggart has but one sponsor. As fast as he is, as impressive as he is, He has one amazing sponsor, but he does not have a shoe sponsor. His main sponsor is SaltStick, who again is the presenting sponsor of this fine live stream coverage, the pre-show, and of course the full coverage tomorrow. But let's talk a little bit about the lack of like a shoe sponsorship and some other companies like that compared to some other runners. Like, there is no reason why any other company should want to scoop him up after this effort.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he's not sponsored already, to be perfectly honest, because, I mean, he hasn't had a ton of races. I guess maybe that's why. Like, his kind of first big performance was at Tunnel Hill last year, I think.
Yep, November 2020.
In 2020, yeah, and, I mean, he crushed it. That was his first race distance over a marathon, and I think he set one of the 5 fastest 100-mile times ever. And so he crushed it. I think that, I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I don't know why he's not sponsored, because he then came and set the Treadmill 100-mile world best and did it in a way that, like, every brand is itching for.
Yeah.
Every brand wants someone who can market and promote their stuff, right? While also being, like, a good runner and a good ambassador for the sport, someone who wants to grow the sport.
Right.
He live streamed his treadmill record at a local bar on Twitch.
Yep.
What more could a footwear sponsor want?
I mean, he's definitely, he's young and he's determined. I think you're right. I think the biggest reason is he doesn't have a huge racing resume yet. Obviously, a triathlete, that 2:37 marathoner, which I would love to run a 2:37 marathon, but in the world of fast, 2:37 is not that fast. And as he said himself, so he was training to run a faster marathon, and then the pandemic hit, so all of the road races were canceled. So that's when he stepped into Tunnel Hill, his debut 100-mile, or debut ultra, and ran, I believe, a 12:19 and change, and just missing out on Zach Bitter's record. And then, sure enough, that treadmill world record, he said he woke up on January 2nd of this year, took New Year's Day off, woke up on January 2nd, and said, let's do this. This is my training block. And included in the training block for the big day, which would be tomorrow, is his A race, his A goal, was another world record. Like, who does that?
People who are different, man.
TVE does that.
Yeah, Taggart VanEtten does that.
Yeah.
People who are cut from a different cloth, who come from a different mindset, people who are willing to show up day in and day out to run 8,000 miles in 52 weeks.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, that's the thing about Taggart VanEtten. He puts in the physical work, but that mind game, that could be the gatekeeper for so many people. And right now, if you're just tuning in, we are at 6 days in the Dome. Currently, the 48-hour race and the first 24-hour race is underway. They started 9 a.m. Central Time this morning. So
you just saw Marissa Lizak in the yellow there go by. She is the current leader of the 48-hour, I believe. She's definitely the top female, and I believe the overall leader of the 48-hour as well. So
yeah,
you just saw her go by. And then looks like that might be Olivier Leblond, maybe. I can't read his bib, but that looks like Olivier Leblond. I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna continue to see runners throughout the entirety of this coverage. Because we have a bunch of different race distances going on between the Friday 24-hour and the 48-hour event as well.
Yes, and then so the big moment that we're building up for is tomorrow's 24-hour race, which Taggart VanEtten will be the one to watch. Again, he's not planning on running the full 24-hour distance. The whole reason is jumping on this USATF certified course and going for sub 11, which will give him a world record, a 100-mile world record. In the process, I'm going to head over, because right there you see you look at that they got on the floor. They got Zach Bitter's 100-mile world record. Of course, that was broken earlier this year, as we were mentioning, with Sanaya Sorokin. And by about 5 minutes, he broke it.
Yep, and ran 1:14:56, so Broke it by a little bit, and you're seeing the tables that Jamil had referenced earlier there on the track with Cruz, and there you see Jake Jackson.
There he is.
Making his
Looking
way.
fresh.
And looking very stylish, I might add. You know, I like that the hat flows well with the top and shorts. You know, Jake looking fresh out there.
I mean, if you're going to be running for 48 hours, you got to look good doing it, right?
Yeah, look good, feel good, run good. You know, Rob?
I think that's the way it goes. Yeah, and he local time there is 8:35, so he's about 12 hours in.
Yep, they're closing in on 12 hours here. They'll hit 12 hours at 9 o'clock local, so in about 25 more minutes or so, they should be hitting the 12-hour mark, which will be halfway for the 24-hour Friday runners, and will be about 25% for the 48-hour runners.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, Matt, I actually got a question for you. We talked to Taggart earlier, and he said that he might be able to break 2 world records tomorrow.
Yeah, no. So the question was posed to Taggart as to whether or not once he hits the 100-mile world record, will he continue for the 12-hour world record? So that question was posed, and I believe that is the plan. You know, if he gets through, 100 miles in, 10:59 or bust, I think he's going to take a little shoe change, catch his breath, enjoy his moment. I hope he's got his EIU flag there to celebrate with for a moment before he gets back out there and makes his way. I mean, he would have to run, if he runs under 11 hours for 100 miles, he would need to run another 6 miles in roughly 1 hour, a little over 6 miles. I believe that the 12-hour record is 106 miles-ish.
That is absolutely right. So if you're just tuning in, this is the pre-show for Taggart VanEtten's 100-mile world record attempt. If you are tuning in on YouTube, it looks like there might have been a glitch on the title when it went out. So apologize for any confusion. This is the pre-show for Taggart VanEtten's 100-mile world record attempt. Of course, presented by SaltStick, a sponsor of this show. And, of course, Taggart VanEtten's main sponsor out there. That's what he's going to be fueling. And SaltStick, our friends at SaltStick actually have a special discount code for everybody that's out there watching tonight and tomorrow. So they want you to know that Taggart's world record attempt is brought to you by SaltStick Electrolytes. And SaltStick offers the only family of products specifically designed to mirror the electrolyte breakdown found in sweat. Their cleanly sourced, buffered ingredients help combat dehydration, prevent cramps, support endurance without causing stomach discomfort. And you can use the code WORLDRECORD for 20% off your next purchase at saltstick.com. That's World Record, one word, for 20% off your next purchase at saltstick.com. Taggart has his SaltStick game dialed. He knows exactly when he's going to take 2 or 3 at a time. He's going to come in, and he's just got his fueling strategy on lock.
Yeah, no, for sure. And shout out to our good friends at SaltStick for helping bring this coverage to you all, the viewers. And again, I think, one part of Taggart's success is his fueling strategy, thanks to his only sponsor, his primary sponsor, SaltStick. Electrolyte balance is key during endurance activity.
It really is.
So, shout out to them, and I know that Taggart has really dialed that in over the last year or so.
Yeah. And we talked with Taggart, and we'll be talking more about this tomorrow, of course, too. But, we did talk to Taggart about his shoe choice. And, of course, he's going with the popular Nike Alpha Flies. Which,
yeah, I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer, right? And that's the one kind of advantage he may have over when Zach Bitter set the record back in 2019 is that a lot of other brands hadn't developed the same footwear technology quite yet. So that will be interesting to see how that benefits him or how it doesn't. I mean, over 100 miles, there's a lot of other things that can go wrong. But yeah, he is going to rock the Alpha Flies. I don't know that. I'm definitely not surprised. I don't know if you're surprised at that footwear choice, Rob.
Not surprised. I've heard from several people that, not wearing that shoe is that is the best shoe. It'd be like jumping into a car race with like a 1995 sedan instead of a Lamborghini, to use a
For
completely.
sure. I mean, the first iteration of that shoe was tagged to give you a 4% like boost in running economy, essentially. Well, my guess is that the updated iteration is not a step back, to say the least. My guess is that it is more than 4%, or at least on par with 4%. So, I mean, you would be silly to leave 4% of running economy out there as a non-sponsored athlete just by choice. But at the end of the day, you also have to use the shoe that works best for you. So
that's absolutely right. Matt, we are streaming from I don't want to call it a new channel, but obviously this is the first non-Aravaipa race that Steep Life Media is covering. But we do have our first couple comments in the chat now that we're on a newer, smaller but newer YouTube channel. So let's answer this question from Vera7. Questions about the lanes, and I've heard this is something that I was talking to Jamil about a few days ago. So Vera's asking, how will the lane discipline work for Taggart? It seems quite busy on the track. Surely that will affect his run, right? Well, I don't think it's going to affect it too much. So what you're seeing out there is pretty much on par with what it will look like tomorrow. So the 24-hour race that's out there right now will be done. The second that race is done, the next 24-hour race goes on. So that field of 48-hour runners will still be on the track. So it'll look about this tomorrow. And when I was talking with Jamil, I'm pretty sure that he was saying that, runners don't have to get out of his way. It looks like if we might be able to get Jamil. Yeah, we have his audio now. So let's see if we could check in with Jamil on this. Jamil, so we've got a question about the lanes. Do you have any insight on how the lane discipline might affect Taggart? Like, what's the protocol for something like this?
Yeah, there's not like any sort of priority for one runner over another. So you pretty much just need to kind of respect the other runners. I mean, if you're just walking, I think a lot of times people will try and walk on the outside, give people the inner lane. But, if you're giving your best effort out there, you can definitely take that inside lane. And I encourage you to not try and hop out of the way of the faster runners. Like if you're in there, let them anticipate and make the move. As you guys can also see behind me here, they've got quite a few tables on each side of the track. And that's where it seems like most of the crews are set up. And I'm sure they'll kind of cycle in tomorrow morning as the new runners hop in here.
Awesome. And now, what else? The scene, it looks fairly quiet for the most part out there right now. Is this kind of a normal year at 6 days in the Dome? Is this what the event usually looks and feels like?
Yeah, so they moved the 6-day to start on Sunday at noon. So I think in the past that's been within the 24-48. So they've got it's a little bit lighter on the track, and I think a few people that started this morning have already dropped out, and maybe there were a couple no starts. So yeah, it's not super busy out there. It feels like a lot more is going on because of the hockey games and the Zamboni. It's a little bit loud in here, but I'm sure by tonight, it'll be pretty quiet out here, I would imagine.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to checking in with you throughout the day tomorrow. So thank you so much for that insight, Jamil.
Bet.
All right. So there you have it. It sounds like I don't think the lanes will be too big of an issue at all.
No, I don't think so. I think for the most part, if you're coming to this race, you kind of know what you're getting into. It's not super busy, which is the other thing. It's not like super overcrowded here as we're watching the feed here. Like there's plenty of space. Is it going to impact him a little bit? Maybe, but I think also the ability to continuously pass people is something that is mentally going to keep him a little bit more invigorated as well and kind of engaged in the run.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to lose a little bit of time from having to pass people and then come back into lane one, but I think that's going to be really a marginal difference, especially based on like how light the like crowd size is on the track.
That's right. Yeah, and there's a lot of other factors too. Like there's those bathroom breaks; those are going to take some time off, but ultimately, you're going to run faster if you stop to go, the bathroom instead of holding it the entire time. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of these little factors that you don't even think about when you're out there running for around 11 hours.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. He's only going to be out there for 11 hours. I say only like, oh, that's not that long. But think of how much different that is compared to someone like Jake Jackson, who's
Yep.
going to be out there for 48 hours. It's the strategy is different. The amount of time you're going to lose is different because you're in 11 hours, you're probably using the bathroom less frequently than you are when you're given 48 hours of crack.
That's absolutely right. And another notable runner out there, of course, tomorrow is Aravaipa's very own Nick Curry.
Nick Curry is there, and I'd love to get some of Jamil's insights later on or tomorrow on how Nick's feeling and stuff like that. But again, there are so many additional storylines to this event other than Taggart's that we're going to try and showcase with you, and one of them is Nick Curry trying to give a hard 100-mile effort on the track at the Dome a crack,
Yeah. Yeah, and he's quite the speedy.
Yeah, I mean,
from the
he's already
trail to the road
qualified
to
for
track.
the U.S. 24-hour team for Worlds, so he doesn't have to, give like a big crack at 24 hours, but he's going to be representing Team USA at Worlds on the 24-hour team, and he wants to give a fast hundo a little go there.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Are you here for it? I'm definitely here.
I'm here for it.
I'm definitely here for it.
I'm here for all of it. Yeah, it's just incredibly impressive.
Do we have any info on what shoes Nick will be wearing?
I am almost certain he's wearing Alpha Flies, based on some conversations I've had with Jamil. We were just talking a lot about Nikes and the Alpha Flies. I would imagine that most. I mean, I can't get a clean look, but I would imagine that most runners out there, especially like the top of the pack, like the speedsters, if you want to call them that, they are probably in either Alpha Flies, Vapor Flies, or Carbon X2s.
Yeah, and I think people who are out there going for PBs, I think you're going to see a lot of Hoka out there as well.
Yeah.
I think especially
Lots
in like
of
the
Hoka.
48-hour race, I think you're going to see a number of Hokas. But at the end of the day, each person's got to use the shoe that works best for them and their feet. So we're probably going to see a pretty decent variety. But for a lot of the people who are, trying to set records or trying to crank off something really fast, they're probably going to be in a carbon-plated shoe.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And Sanya Sorokin, who has the current 100-mile world record on the track, he ran in both the Carbon X2 and the Alpha Flies. I believe he had the Carbon X2s on in the beginning, and then he switched out to Alpha Flies.
Well, he knew he had to bring it home.
Yeah.
He had to close hard there. He got that increased economy, that increased energy return, and brought it home. And there you see
Marissa
Lizak, again, still your 48-hour leader, coming through there in the bright yellow. And there
he is, the man himself.
The man himself.
We've been talking a lot to Jake Jackson.
Mr. Jacob Jackson. Do you think he's watching the pre-race live stream right now?
I think he might be. Or he's
no, I think he's probably
fixing
texting his family.
Spotify playlist or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. He's probably actually trying to put some pump-up music on right about now as they approach the 12-hour mark.
We were blasting our pump-up music as well because we are pretty stoked for this
I mean,
occasion.
I don't know if the viewers will ever fully understand just how hyped I was for this. And shout out to the good people at 6 Days in the Dome for letting us cover this event. Shout out to our friends at SaltStick for helping bring this event to you. But I'm trying to, legitimately, I'm trying to contain my excitement because I need to save some of this energy for tomorrow. Rob, I got to bring the energy tomorrow, but I'm so excited to be able to follow along with everyone who's watching as a fellow EIU alumni tries to do something truly incredible.
Yeah.
Tony Romo never won a Super Bowl. Well, Taggart VanEtten is going to make up for that by setting a 100-mile world record tomorrow. Right? You can book it. You can book it.
And if you're just tuning in, we are at the tail end of the Taggart VanEtten 100-mile world record attempt pre-show. Presented by SaltStick. Again, we are going to be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central. We'll be back at 8:30 a.m. Central tomorrow. The race itself starts at 9 a.m. Central. And this is what the scene will pretty much look like, as you heard from Jamil before. Like, this is the way that things are going down this year. The 6-day event is starting on Sunday. So we'll just have the 48-hour runners on the track and the 24-hour runners, of which the Saturday 24-hour, again, tomorrow's 24-hour race, includes the man himself, the pride of Morton, Illinois, Taggart VanEtten.
Let's go.
Yeah, so it looks like they got 11:50 clock time there. And again, yeah, so we don't have audio on all the cameras because there is a lot of music out there, and for royalty reasons. But Jamil, it does look like he carved out a nice little spot where we'll be able to get some good interviews and stuff like that tomorrow. So, and some good on the ground intel from Jam himself. We might even have some Skylar Hall jump in, the track legend himself.
Yeah, the king of the run flat, stay low sphere.
The king of it all.
And shout out to Jamil for flying out there, obviously wanting to support his brother, but being our single broadcaster, our single videographer out there. So he's got cameras everywhere, and the setup that he has kind of carved out and made happen is great, so that we're able to provide you all with the most complete and fun coverage we can, because I'm excited and I think it's going to be a good time.
We might actually even have let's check in with Jamil down there. He might have an interview for us.
It's 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's not this hour.
I don't know if you guys can you guys hear me right now? They do a turnaround every 4 hours.
Right, so it's a bit of a washing machine cycle every 4 hours.
Yeah, every 4 hours. So they got one coming up at the 12 o'clock, 12 hours in.
Right on, and that turnaround will be our cue in a bit to wrap up the the pre-race show, so we can go all out for the 14 hours of coverage for tomorrow for Taggart VanEtten.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, Rob. This basically feels like college game day to me.
It does feel like we hear the whistles in the background too. So I feel
we just need like a mascot head to put on, or like a cardboard cutout of Taggart to put in front of our faces or something like that, so that we can.
Where's the EIU flag? I know you've got rocking around here.
Yeah, we do have the EIU flag here and ready for the post world record celebration.
Yeah. So again, if you're just tuning in here on YouTube or Facebook, Cole Bernhardt is just talking about the lane. Of course, he's just going to run around them, no dedicated lane. Yeah, that's exactly right. Matt, you're a track guy. Would you ever jump into a 24 or 48, or maybe the full 6 days?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? I think that, it's flat, so it's right up my alley, right?
Yeah.
And, a part of me misses running around in circles like this. I did it for, 20 years of my life almost, maybe more. So I think it's really cool. I think it's hard. I think it's really hard. The good thing is that it's over 400 meters, so it's bigger than an actual outdoor track.
There's Jake
versus
again.
like a 200-meter traditional indoor track. But no, I think it'd be a good time. Should I start my training for next year's 6 days in the Dome?
Potentially, you could be out there doing it and commentating.
I could just like carry my own camera and just bring the viewers along for my for what would probably be a sufferfest.
Would you go 6:36 pace? Maybe 23:59 or bust?
I mean, here's the thing. If I ran 8,000 miles between now and then and stayed healthy, the world is my oyster, Rob.
8,000 miles of training on those legs for Taggart VanEtten. The question is,
To be perfectly honest, I don't think I've ever heard of someone running that many miles in a full year. I remember Jim Walmsley last year ran, I want to say, somewhere close to like 5,500 miles, and I thought that was really impressive.
yeah,
Because, I mean, that's averaging over 100 miles a week for a year. That's a lot. But, I mean, geez, 800 miles, that's like averaging like 150 some odd miles a week for a year.
yeah. Well, Taggart,
That's insane.
the way he does that, at least during the school year, he is a K through 8 physical education teacher, and he wakes up at 3:45, runs for 2 hours, teaches, comes back, runs again for an hour. 3 hours of running at his slow pace. He spends most of his training miles, he tells me, running slow relative to the runner, of course, and for him, slow is about high 7s, low 8 pace. That's, so he's into that 3 hours a day of running. He's putting in a lot of miles.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a lot. That's one of the benefits of only being 25 years old.
That
too.
is,
I mean, that's
he
one
is
of
a
the
youngin'.
things that
He is a
has to
youngin'.
be reemphasized is he's so young.
Yeah.
He's 25, and so I guess maybe I shouldn't be so surprised that his body can handle that kind of volume.
Right.
Because he is so young. I mean, the stuff I could do training-wise when I was 25 is much different than the stuff I can do now that I'm 32. It's not like I'm old, but it's different. I'm 31. I'm not even 32.
I think Coco might have aged you a year. But.
Yeah, at least. But no, I think there is something to that, is that I think his body is able to handle the volume. I think his triathlon background also plays a role into that. So he has like a high aerobic, he's done a lot of aerobic volume in the past, but he hasn't put a ton of like miles on his legs per se. So, a lot of his volume when he was competing in triathlons likely came on the bike and in the pool. And so there's just less like wear and tear on your body.
Right.
And so that's probably why he's able to
and he runs on,
handle some of that.
He told me he runs a lot on soft surfaces now. And for the majority of those soft surfaces, he's putting in miles on the treadmill. He's putting in miles on a track. So that adds up when you're doing that many miles, putting slow miles on soft surfaces. And he ran a 2:37 marathon on like less than 30 miles a week of running. Of course, he's got that strong cardio. He had that strong cardio base from his brick workouts on the triathlon days. But
he ran 2:37 for the marathon, and granted it was off limited training, but to show how far his training has come, that is 6-minute pace.
That is
for a marathon. He's trying to run 6:30 pace for 100 miles.
Essentially just under 4
I mean, it's not
marathons,
that much slower.
No.
He
could probably throw down a, I don't know, what you say, 2:20, maybe 2:19 marathon now.
Yeah, that's a good question.
You're better with that kind of fast split stuff, so.
I mean, it all depends, right? He probably has a fitness level that's in like the low to mid 220s, I would imagine. But sometimes that translates, sometimes it doesn't,
Absolutely. And again, if you're just joining us, we are going to be wrapping up this pre-show. We're showing you all the scene in the dome at the Pettit Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 6 days in the dome. Again, shout out to everyone there, Steve Durbin, the RD. This is going to be the scene where Taggart VanEtten attempts the 100-mile world record on the track tomorrow morning. Again, he will start at 9 a.m. Central. We will be on the air on YouTube and Facebook on the Steve Blythe Media channel starting at 8:30 a.m. And we will be taking you all the way through his record, through all of those 6:30 and change per mile pace laps that he's putting out there. But yeah, so and again, this is the scene for that race. We'll see if we can check in with Jamil one more time before wrapping things up, because there we go. And that's
Got
it.
the turnaround going. Here we go.
And this is what he was just talking about. Every 4 hours, they switch directions. And you can see on the clock, that 12 hours on the clock.
And here we go.
Hyping him up. That got
Jake
me hyped.
Jackson.
Oh,
look at that.
Go
Hit
a
him
little
with
bit
a
of a
little
juke
dance
move
moves.
there. That was like
Man.
a Madden NFL move there.
Oh, yeah. Hit him with the spin button.
Yeah.
You know? Man.
So for those of you out there wondering, how it all goes down in the dome. This is fascinating. Stealing Jake Jackson's move there. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, look at
this.
this.
Now he's a trendsetter, I think.
Look, I think that all of these people are trying to keep their hips nice and loose, you know? Getting a little dynamic movement there.
Yeah, and I've got to imagine that's a big reason for switching direction. You know, if you're going for 2 days, 48 hours straight, constantly making left turns on a standard track direction. You know.
There you go.
You need some tunes, but you're doing good.
Then we have people who complain about the music.
Oh yeah.
Look at this.
People still with these things, they're trying to prove. But outside, around the cone.
And we are watching the switching of directions here at 6 days in the Dome as we are bringing you the pre-race coverage of Taggart VanEtten's 100-mile world record attempt, presented to you by our wonderful friends at SaltStick. And there was Marissa Lizak, the overall leader of the 48-hour race right now.
I still show the pistol Leo kicking it instead of Solskjaer. Yes, Deborah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
That's got to feel good, being 2 minutes more than halfway.
Yeah.
Waited 4 hours for this. This is it.
The energy here is incredible.
Well, I mean, you're the 24-hour people, you're halfway home. The 48s are only 1/4 of the way home.
And you just saw there Heather
No
McComb
cool music. It's all
just
no
coming
cool
through.
music. What can I tell you? You're still cool.
Ooh.
What a legend.
And here we go. Fan favorite,
Jake Jackson.
Jake Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Easy to pick out because of how color coordinated his outfit
He's
is.
got the kit.
And almost like an Aravaipa teal-esque color scheme there.
Everteal.
You know,
Yeah.
he almost has a little bit of an Everteal glow about him. You know, so we appreciate Jake Jackson really supporting the brand here at Aravaipa.
Subconsciously.
Subconsciously, he doesn't know it, but yeah, shout out to Jake.
I'm curious, what do you think Taggart's move is going to be around the cone? Because he's going to be moving noticeably faster than a lot of the 48-hour runners. I mean,
I would not expect to see him pull any stylish dance moves. I will say that.
I mean, it would add a little flair to his, probable world record.
Yeah, that's true. I would not expect it, you know?
Right. Well, now we know what that turnaround looks like for tomorrow. So, Matt, are you excited?
I am beyond excited, and I do mean that. I know maybe I don't sound super excited, but I
You sound
am
excited.
extremely excited to be able to bring coverage of, again, an Illinoisan trying to do something truly amazing. So I'm super stoked to be able to share Taggart's story as he starts what is going to be an epic journey. And like I said, there will be other storylines we follow, but that is the primary one, and that is the one that I am most excited about, the one that means the most to me on a personal level. And Taggart's going to crush it. He put in the work. He's ready. There's no doubt in my mind that when the gun goes off tomorrow, it's just going to be all gas, no brakes. And I'm here for it.
Absolutely. Well, we are stoked. It is 10:59 or bust, as he has put on his Instagram bio and now shaved into his head 10:59 or bust. And now they're on the shirts. Again, these shirts are for sale. If you go to the link in the bio, 50% of the proceeds from all sales from the Taggart VanEtten, the Run TVE line, are going to go directly to the man himself, Taggart VanEtten, because we are here backing him. And again, huge thanks to our friends at SaltStick. They are our presenting sponsors. They are also Taggart's sole sponsor. So kudos to them for jumping on the TVE train way ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Big shout out to SaltStick for believing in someone that I think is one of the next big things in the sport of ultra running. So huge shout out to them, and huge shout out to Taggart for giving this a crack. I'm excited to follow along.
He is the Prefontaine of the 100-mile distance. That's what I will say, based on his mental determination. And
Yeah.
I think we're going to see 2 world records go down tomorrow. It's 12-hour. So I'm excited.
I'm here for it.
So that is going to wrap up the pre-show for now. Join us tomorrow right here on the Steep Life Media YouTube and Facebook channels, where we will be going live at 8:30 a.m. Central. That's 6:30 Pacific, our time. We are here in Phoenix, broadcasting from the Steep Life Studios, but we will have Jamil Curry out there in Milwaukee, as you saw him today, getting on-the-ground footage and insights from the runners and crews out there. So I'm excited. Matt's excited. You got your EIU flag ready. And
Got my EIU flag ready. I'm excited, Taggart. I hope that you're sleeping right now. But if you ever watch this back for some reason, man, I'm proud of you for just giving this a crack. And let's go, man. You got this.
Let's go. Yeah, this is going to be amazing to watch. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We will see you all tomorrow. Signing out, I am Rob Ricardo.
I'm Matt Feldick.
And we will see you at 8:30 a.m. Central on the Steep Life Media YouTube and Facebook channels. Thank you.